Thank you, Miles, and good morning and welcome to everyone to the City UK's International Conference. I'd also like to add my thanks to Miles's, to our sponsors, Freshfields Brookhouse Derringer, for their partnership at this important event. I'd also like to thank in advance our speakers and panelists, all of whom I'm sure are poised to turn their minds to some of our industry's most pressing questions and challenges this morning. Since our last international conference, it's fair to say, as Miles has already said, the world is more complex, volatile, and uncertain than ever before. Against a backdrop of major issues, which include climate change, the war in Ukraine, conflict in the Middle East, and the ongoing pressures from rising living costs, we are also faced with potential political change, again mentioned by Miles, through an unprecedented number of elections taking place in over 60 countries, representing almost 50% of the world's population eligible to vote. On the agenda, too, are both technological change, with the accelerating evolution of AI, and economic change, as inflation proves difficult to tackle, keeping interest rates higher for longer, and creating deepening inequality around the world. At the same time, the values we built our models on, free trade, openness, multilateralism, are being challenged as never before. Uncertainty is therefore the persistent pulse of our times. While those conditions make it difficult to predict the outcomes during this pivotal period, they do not make it impossible. In fact, they present an opportunity for the financial and related professional services industry to do its important work in analysing, financing, auditing, and ensuring the solutions that will help people respond to these changing conditions. At the risk of overworking a weather theme, this century we have already seen and suffered from a series of consecutive storms, bookended by 9/11 attack on US soil in 2001 and a land conflict ongoing in Europe. And in the middle of all that, we've had a global financial crisis and a global pandemic. Quite enough for the first 25 years of this century. And it's relatively easy to make the statement that a constant blue skies forecast cannot be expected, and that we should be prepared for more stormy skies and weather in the next quarter of this century. Whether we'll be subject to freak squalls in the future, I did say I was going to overwork this theme, freak squalls in the future or something more cyclonic, we must both take stock of where the industry finds itself in this state of global flux and prepare to navigate through perilous times ahead. To weather any storm, both stability and agility are required. A strong foundation coupled with an ability to innovate and embrace change. That is what the UK needs and increasingly is demonstrating to support growth and global competitiveness going forward. So taking stability first, as an industry, we have a ready foundation here in the broad consensus seen on issues like climate and culture, and the need to create more sustainable and inclusive organizations. We also have a good track record. Our industry has provided vital stability through conflict in Ukraine, including, most recently, the City UK's recently established work through the City Ukraine hub with the first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of the Economy of Ukraine. So far, financial markets are also taking the uncertainty caused by the conflict in the Middle East, which includes significant disruption to shipping and global supply chains in the Red Sea, in their stride. And our performance is matching that stability. At the end of last year, some 80% of banks' credit rating outlooks were stable, and the general insurance industry, as an example, is reporting strong financial results, building vital capital into the system to pay for large losses, such as those that will arise from the Baltimore Bridge disaster in the United States last month. More broadly, UK businesses have seen the highest level of inward foreign investment in the world behind China. And notwithstanding the headwinds of Brexit, the UK recently climbed to fourth from seventh in 2001, for exporting nations globally, underpinned by the strong financial performance of the financial services sector. What's important now is that we work together across industry, government, and regulators to maintain that stability by underpinning the conditions for fair weather sailing. That is why we have supported the government's agenda for financial policy reform through Edinburgh and Mansion House reforms and the Financial Services and Markets Act of 2023, which demonstrate an appreciation for both our industry's growth ambitions and the need for our industry to be competitive in generating the financial returns that will allow it to take on more risk safely in these turbulent times. Similarly, we're very pleased to see the Labour Party committed to supporting the growth of the UK's financial services sector, recognising its ability to generate prosperity across the wider economy. A consistent vision is essential to supporting steady, consistent growth, which gives people the confidence to invest, lend, and start up in a challenging economic environment. That's also the case for how our industry is regulated, where I hope you'll already have your hands, as Miles indicated, on the joint report published this morning by TheCityUK and Freshfields. It calls for our regulators to recognise their role in supporting the UK's international competitiveness, recommending how best to embrace this and be held accountable for it in tandem with our industry's needs. What we need is efficiency, proportionality, and an understanding of the UK's strengths and weaknesses in the context of an increasing number of global competitors. As you will see, there is still much work to be done, but we're moving in the right direction. While stability gives us the ability to hold to long-term goals in times of uncertainty, agility is the driving force that allows us to see them through. Our connected world brings risks, but also opportunities, and none more so than in areas such as the transition to low-carbon business models and adoption of rapidly emerging technologies. To grasp these with both hands, we must work up a healthy risk appetite and match it with cutting-edge innovation to keep the UK ahead of the curve. When it comes to technology, the UK boasts a modern economic success story, having attracted a vibrant ecosystem of world-leading research facilities and pioneering international startups. Already a global innovation centre hot on the heels of the US and China, the UK startup community is worth over $1.1 trillion and is made up of over 40,000 members, attracting more funding than anywhere else in Europe. Now, there's no reason why the UK should not retain its leading position in this area. In tech, data is king, and our knowledge-sharing architectures keep industry and government on top of the yet-to-be-known. Forums like Lloyd's FutureSet research platform bring practitioners and experts together to understand emerging risks. The National Cyber Security Centre's information sharing partnership keeps a watchful eye on potential cyber threats. And of course, the TheCityUK's ongoing consultation on big issues like big tech, like global trade, encourage industry-wide alignment on the opportunities and changes facing the United Kingdom. Agility is fueled by fresh perspectives. The innovation that drives us must be powered in turn by individuals that are creative and forward-thinking. We're already a centre of expertise for future skills, home to the highest concentration of cyber specialists in the G20. Our service-heavy economy is in many ways a skills magnet that has been underpinned by our world-leading universities. Bucking the post-Brexit trend, the number of undergraduates applying to UK universities from overseas has increased in recent years. We must ensure these talented individuals find a home in our industry. This means affording UK-based businesses the flexibility to mobilise talent from overseas in the short term, driving progress in developing globally attractive products and services, and by attracting the greatest variety of essential skills. And therefore, we have a strong foundation in stability and agility area being demonstrated by the UK-based financial and related professional services industry, coupled with the regulatory and political stability needed to attract investment to the UK. There is no reason this growth and innovation cannot continue in the coming years. Returning to our forecast, while we know we cannot expect cloudless skies, we have the talent and skills to weather the unexpected, and I know the UK-based financial and related professional services industry will help navigate our economy through to more sunlit uplands. Notwithstanding the strong likelihood that we will encounter more storms, a mindset which supports growth and drives competitiveness alongside the innovation of our sectors, fueled by the world's sharpest minds, means the outlook for the future is bright. Thank you for listening.